Alright, good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the DGL Dota 2 Premier League match between BVD Emo and Veneration GPF. So this is game 2. Game 1 went pretty convincingly to BVD Emo in the end. And yeah, Reigns, how do you think Veneration is going to feel after that game? Do you think they have any idea of how to actually counter emotion, or are they just like, what can we do, and complete loss sort of thing?
I think they're confident enough to counter them, but it's about the timing and how precise they are with the item choices, especially with Plick. If he got the gem earlier, I think that they were able to close down Doni much earlier in the game and then closing the spider down, and hence it's an automatic 4v5 kind of game. So they're able to pick up heroes similar, if not, just a little bit different to counter out BVD Emotion, and from then they're able to go. And I think that with the bans right now, the Puck, the Witch Doctor against the Zeus and AA, it's good. I mean, the spellcasters are out, so I think they're forced to play more of a more focused and precise team play and more physical damage. And wow, starting off with Axe's Culling Blade, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, the big red man is going to be running around dropping an axe on quite a few players here. Funny to see that the Witch Doctor is the first ban. Definitely a counter there to Ferrari's ridiculous Witch Doctor in game 1. But yeah, we see some actually pretty radical bans. The Puck will be banned out. That's obviously targeted at Doni there, Zeus and Ancient Apparition. I don't really know that Zeus did all that much for VNR there. I don't know if you maybe disagree with me, but like for me, the Zeus, he was kind of there and thereabouts, doing some damage, but I think there might have been other heroes that could have done a bit more.
I don't think there was a problem with it, in my opinion. It's just that if you play against a sniper, that just auto shots you. You can't get last hits, and that's really frustrating. And then you can see that the items progression was, falling behind by the minutes, and then hence not being able to do anything. And he was forced to buy a troll item like Dagon and tried to keep the game up as long as possible, but it did not work. But otherwise, I think one of each. If you open the chat as well, Plex says respect ban on the Witch Doctor, which I agree with. But Flares goes with Liam can play many carry heroes. Got you. So clearly that they agreed upon that the Witch Doctor was to carry the last game, which makes sense as well. That Death Ward are simply amazing of the Aghanim Scepter, and not even the Storm Spirit was able to get away. But this time it's going to be BVD Emotion's turn to play the Scarith Mage, and I won't be surprised that they pick up the Void in this game as well for Flares.
Yeah, Flair's pretty well known as a Void player. The Skyreth Mage, I think, will be Ferrari's. I don't know if he's going to be able to do as much on his Skyreth Mage as he was on his Witch Doctor. But yeah, at the moment, it does look as though VNR's... I actually like the Sax pick. It's going to be interesting to see how well he does. Obviously, he's got a major problem in that the Skyreth Mage can probably burst him down early on. But the axe, who do you think that's going to be? You think that's a trucker, or is that going to be a Plick carry axe? Position 1, I mean.
What I think is just to put a more hard carry hero on Plick. A Storm Spirit was okay, but he got to the point as well that the whole team didn't have a proper hard carry to counter the sniper, for example. So the axe, if it stays on trucker, it could work. It'd be okay. But if it's a jungle and maybe let Smoke be the solo support, that could work as well. But here's a BVD Emotion Enigma, which would probably be the champ player last game, Habibi, who's probably going to be playing the Enigma, sorry. And yeah, that's the Rubik pickup. And I think the Rubik, if I'm not wrong, it's Fancy's hero, but I'm sure that Smoke is able to play something like that as well.
Yeah, Rubik, a lot about timings as a support rather than straight and out movement and things like that. Yeah, I suppose Smoke as well as Fancy could both do very, very well on the hero. I haven't seen either of them actually play it all that much, so we'll have to. It's a little bit open-ended. We've got another Clockwork ban, so it looks like a lot of targeted bans at Doni here. Both his Puck and his Clockwork removed. We have the Storm Spirit now taken out. That was run by Plick in game 1. But yeah, like you were saying, I mean, the Storm Spirit didn't really do much. It's not really the hardest carry in the game. And it's a very, very snowbally type hero. If it does well in the early game, it does very, very well. If it does poorly in the early game, like Plix did, then it just kind of, falls flat. It's not really able to farm as much. So how do you think BVD is going to run these lanes? Do you think they're going to go with a little bit more standard Enigma jungle and then Skywrath supporting a carry on the safe lane, or do you think they're going to go with that that aggro dual lane again in game 2 here?
Probably it's going to be a dual lane, especially if Enigma is playing in the jungle. It's maybe if they're going to do the same thing, Donny will play the safe lane solo again, which allows some space for Enigma to farm up. Not necessarily able to pull some creeps, but if he gets that blink stick, maybe a heads of Midas on Enigma, he would get the BKB and sends the refresher pretty fast into the game as well. But I think that Enigma ulti was basically focused on the axe, not enabling him to blink into Enigma and then try to ulti and Culling Blade him. But here we go with the Shadow Fiend. This is, I don't know, a win-win for either side now that GPF has a Rubik, because now this Rubik can steal basically any skill of these heroes of BVD right now and still do a lot of damage. Maybe not so much for Requiem of Souls, but even if you get like a Mystic Flare, the Enigma would die so quick, because you know Mystic Flare is so much damage. Enigma without BKB is basically soft. So let's see what they do. I mean, it's Axe and Rubik right now, basically very open for VNR.
Yeah, I do actually like the Rubik. He's got a lot of nice skills to steal. We're going to see the Dazzle picked up as well, so it's a little bit more defensive, but he does very, very well with the axe. Yeah, the Shadow Fiend, I don't know. It's who do you think is going to run the Shadow Fiend though? Is it another Flair's Shadow Fiend mid, or they're going to put it on Seam and hope he comes good this game?
Yeah, that's a very good question and assumption as well. I think that Seam is, it's just so overfeeding, and he's just going to play like a powerful carry core hero kind of thing. So going mid could be him, and then this would force Leon to play, a more. It's a core carry kind of thing. Like even a Void, I think this game is pretty nice. You get a Void Chronosphere, try to get as much damage output as possible, try to trap 2 or 3 heroes, and then here comes Enigma, blink in, Black Hole, try to finish everybody off. So that could be a very good combo. And the Void Chronosphere is able to be taken by Rubik as well. So Rubik with a mistake gets a Chronosphere and Void with a double ulti again. So let's just see what they're gonna do, because it's really confusing right now, because now they're picking heroes like Enigma. That's cool, and then you get a Requiem of Souls, which could follow up with a Black Hole. But if they're able to catch out 2 or 3 heroes, that's fine. But they catch out X, the supports could easily steal the stuff, and then Telekinesis disables Enigma's ulti. So it's either side. They just need to outplay each other in order to win. But the Spirit Breaker, we're seeing heroes for the second time again. First game was the Earthshaker, and now the Spirit Breaker, and hopefully not a hero that gets stuck in the jungle.
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious. The Spirit Breaker we saw earlier today did make quite a fool of himself. You'll probably be able to spot that on our YouTube channel maybe tomorrow, later this week. We'll have to see, but yeah, that was pretty entertaining. We are going to see the Troll Warlord ban now, but Spirit Breaker and Lina, 2 very, very interesting picks here. Lina looking to be the mid, I think, for Veneration. What do you think of Lina as a mid hero here?
Against against Shadow Fiend, basically, I would say they're pretty equal in the early game, and then when he gets the Eel Scepter, I think it's going to be easy kill. Get the Eels, get the stun right away, and then here comes the ulti and the Dragon Slaves to do the damage. And this is not even including the supports. I mean, you get Dazzle, I think that minus armor is pretty amazing, and then there's still the Rubik to steal and then lift him once again after the stun. But yeah, we got to consider what the Spirit Breaker is going to do now, because we know that Donny is a very aggressive player, and they gave him an aggressive off lane. So this is going to be very fun for the BVD Emo fans. But let's just see. Veneration Esports definitely ready to counter them. You've got the Rubik to lift him up as soon as he charges, and then there's still the Lina stun to follow up after that. So we really can't see any flaws for both teams, but let's see what they're going to pick as the carry for BVD Emo. They banned out Mirana, they banned out the Troll Warlord, so maybe a Void, maybe a Juggernaut. What do you think?
Well, the Juggernaut is available. I mean, if I think BVD wanted to be full on try-hard mode, they would go for the Void here. There's nothing really that's going to cause him problems. I mean, maybe the Axe or the Lina if she gets the Aghanim Scepter up, but I think BVD Emo is just going to go with a pretty standard hero here. Okay, well, screw that. They're going to go with the Clinks.
Okay.
Not what I expected at all. How the hell are they gonna work this though? I mean, Shadow Fiend mid, Clink's safe, Spirit Breaker off, but who picks up what here? As you see, a Warlock picked up, so VNR going with a very, very soft lineup here. And it looks as though Lena's going to be the hard carry and Warlock going to be the mid up against the Shadow Fiend.
What I see now is well, remember the arena last year where Flares was playing position 1X. I think this could be the case in this game, and then hence Lena mid, and then an offlaner, maybe the Warlock just trying to get up to level 6 as soon as possible, which leads the Rubik and Dazzle to roam. It could be a disaster for VNR, but Warlock to play position 1 maybe, and then have the Rubik and Dazzle to support him. It really depends now how VNR is planning to do this. Well, Donnie's playing Shadow Fiend, by the way, where as soon as the Shadow Fiend gets around, it's going to be pretty dangerous for VNR to out carry him once again some DPS. Oh, Spirit Breaker position 1. What is this?
Yeah, it's certainly going to be an interesting game, I'll say that much.
So this is basically, excuse me, this has got to the point where, yeah, I think VNR really has to end this game as soon as possible, otherwise it's not going to be nice for them. They don't have a DPS, they have a Trucker Axe, which, you know, if they get any hero on low, he's able to do Killing Blade, but before that, it's going to be so hard to take them down, especially the Shadow Fiend playing by Donnie. Donnie's playing mid, by the way, which is really special, but okay, fine. I'm going to organize the calling. Okay, I'll go for VNR. Trucker is playing Axe, Frenzy, the Warlock support, Pluck playing Lena, who was Storm Spirit last game, Fancy Rubik, and Smoke on the Dazzle.
Right, so for the side of BVD, we have Real Martin, that'll be Seam. He's on the Clinks, he's going to have to expend an early use of skill points into these Skeleton Walker, make his way out of trouble there. Donnie is going to run in that Shadow Fiend. Ferrari will be on the Enigma. Flares looks to be going off lane on the Spirit Breaker, and Habibi will this round be taking the Skywrath Mage.
It basically, I don't know, they're trying new things. I think that's what I see from BVD Emotion, but as of now, it's going to be Seam playing the hard carry. I think he's a little bit sick of feeding, so maybe instead of 3-8, he's going to try go for 8-3, which, you know, it's a Clinks that only has Shadow Walk, so if he gets caught by the Axe, it's going to be more feeding from him.
Yeah, he's going to have to be pretty careful. The axe is pretty much going to decide how good a game that Seam will have. It's not the most gank heavy of lineups from VNR. They got, I think, fairly static lanes. The Axe looks to be going solo to the bot lane. We do have an aggressive jungle movement here from Ferrari, and yeah, he's going to be just an absolute nightmare for them to deal with, as Habibi just gets a bit of harassment here onto the Axe, who hasn't even gotten into the lane. Meanwhile, Flares just continues to farm away here. So yeah, Habibi doing quite a good job at really just annoying Trucker with his skills. Ferrari still hunting for a decent creep camp, and Smoke is moving in as the Dazzle to try and help out now. So we've got dual lanes actually coming out of VNR here, with Plick running an off-lane Lena this time. I don't know how effective that's going to be. Clinks though has decided he wants none of the action in the lane. He's going to move out and just pull the camp over here quickly. But in the mid lane, let's just check how they're going. Alright.
Oh, bottom lane, Trucker.
Yeah, sorry, Trucker actually going to get caught out there. Ferrari, sorry, not Ferrari, what am I saying? Flair's just going to get the lucky bash and just force Trucker back. So that'll be a nice way to start things off there. Habibi is going to come in and just throw a bit more harassment onto Trucker. But Flair's actually getting quite a bit of damage. Sorry, yeah, he's actually taking quite a bit of damage and getting quite a few last hits here. So he's doing pretty well at the moment.
I guess it's okay to confuse Flares with Ferrari, because right now I'm not even sure who the carry is for BVD Emo. But I like this idea. I don't know what they did, but now they're assuming that Axe is not even playing the jungle, hence you get Scarith Mage being the aggressive player of the Dire side, and then have the Enigma farming the enemy jungle, which is perfect. And this is all props to Seam's drafting. So it's good that he, I won't even say assumed anymore, like he planned that it didn't work, so wow. Anyway, sorry for missing that. It's going to be Frenzy's first blood against Donny Shadowfiend.
I actually got
Designated feeder.
a designated feeder this game, I think, Donny. But yeah, a good way to start off for the Warlock. He's going to get a lot of pressure dealt to this mid lane. Donny is going to TP back with, I think, quite a bit of anger about that early kill that he gave away now. But somehow they were able to get it done with just a Rubik in support. So a lot of movement there. We've got Ferrari moving in here, and it might very well be a kill onto Smoker. He's going to get charged up by that Spirit Breaker. He's going to pop the Grave, but I think he's got a lot more trouble than he realizes as it's going to end, and he'll be finished off there. Trucker is trying to farm up on the wave here, but Ferrari is going to move away, and the Rubik is getting involved here, and I think it looks as though Flares might very well eat a death. He's going to charge pretty cleverly, and Habibi will TP in, and they're going to try and focus down Fancy. Fancy's on quite a bit of problems now as the next little bit of damage comes in, and Habibi will finish him off. So very, very quick thinking there by BVD, getting a return kill, well, and then some. In the end, Seam is doing okay up on the top lane, still behind Plix. Lina in terms of last hits, but he's doing a little bit better than he was in game 1, and copying quite a bit of harassment here.
It's a good change for BVD. I mean VNR. I think the item choices is pretty special for him as well. For example, Frenzy with the phase boots. So the next thing he might maybe go for, maybe a Blink or Agnum Scepter, which leads to the double golems. So yeah, he's getting there, and I think against the Shadowfiend, he even got the first blood of him. So this is working really nice. It's just a pity that the safe lane is not doing just as great. But yep, here we go with here we got Spirit Breaker almost losing the bouncy rune to the smoke dazzle. So
yeah, and he just got a little bit of
it's really close.
A smack on the ass there from
middle.
Rush.
It's another Donny. Donny might be getting another death over here. So Frenzy 2-0 against a Shadowfiend. That's not what you see every day. I mean, a Warlock is not a hero that could get kills off a proper mid hero like that. But I guess the choice is nice. You get Rubik to rotate in now and then to lift him, and then you're already with the telekinesis. That's already doing quite a bit of damage. So yeah, it's 3-3 right now. 5 minutes into the game. Once again, it's a lot of kills, and it's only game 2. So yeah, hopefully we get to see a win from VNR in order to see a game 3. But it's a mission against BVD Emo.
Yeah, quite a mission. I mean, you can wreck them in the early game, but they certainly will come back as we see a charge onto the Spirit Breaker. He looks very, very interested in this lean up on the top lane. He's going to get there. No, he's going to decide he wants none of that, as she moves a bit too close to the tower. I think she probably realized that something was up. Actually, no, he ran over the ward, and that's what gave him away there. He's going to TP back down to the bot lane, where Habibi's been left alone to get a bit of harassment. They are now going to make a move on him, and he should die there. No, he's going to get a kill on something to prevent the Battle Hunger finishing him off. But yeah, VNR are doing a lot better this game, I think, just in terms of how they're laning and actually just the kind of pressure that they're putting BVD under here. Because in game 1, BVD, like they did lose a couple of the lanes. Donny's going to eat a third death here. Gets the golem dropped on top of him, lifted up, and that'll be his third death, the golem getting the last punch in. And yeah, I mean, Donny, I think he's just being, he's I wouldn't say he's on tilt, but like he's doing very, very ROT type things now. He either does brilliantly or he starts feeding, and this is not really the kind of hero that you can start feeding on, particularly not against the lineup that VNR is running against you.
It's crazy. What I see from here is that Frenzy is going for the Hands of Midas, getting the Glove of Haste from the courier right now. He does have the gold for the recipe, but not before he got the next wave of creeps, so I think he was more eager to get the Glove of Haste before getting anything else. So right now, he is getting really farmed. I mean, after these items that he has right now, 6 minutes into the game, he still has 1,700 gold. So that is a big advantage for the Radiant side, which is VNR in this game. So I think he's doing well. Now it's up to Trucker, and and the offlane Lina supposedly to get some items as well. So Eel Scepter, maybe Eggs on Trucker, that would be enough to take down the heroes like Shadow Fiend and let's say Clinks and the Enigma, knowing that they're soft, which leads to the only hero to take on, which is difficult, is no coaches, the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, no coaches is probably going to be the game changer here if you can get some good charges going. He's not very farmed at the moment though. He's about to complete his trades over probably the next minute if he gets a couple more last hits. But I mean, he's got quite a bit of problems as he's going to get initiated on, but not much is happening. It looks like on the top lane, meanwhile, Lina will be caught out there. Klink's finishing her off with the rotations from the supports helping her out. And Ferrari is going to find himself a nice little stack going here, as he's going to call Habibi to come pick up some XP as well. Habibi's actually had hit level 6 as well, so BVD is making good use of the space that they've found. It's just poor old Donny that's not having his best games. But yeah, he does. You see, that's the other problem with the Shadow Fiend, is that like with the Enigma in the jungle, he's not going to really be able to stack well, or have a camp stacked for him to come and farm. So he's going to be a lot slower than a Radiant side. Sorry, a Radiant side Shadow Fiend with an unused jungle.
Yeah, it's a good thing in the end that he got to level 4 Shadow Rays as well, and not maxing out the Aura or Necromastery, which is at right. So it's really good. So living out the Recom Soul's ulti, it's, I don't know, in this situation it's not as bad, but wow, no coaches coming in. Of the Mystic Flare from Scarlet Mage, making sure that finally Frenzy's killing spree is ended, and here's Habibi taking up the kill. So I guess it's something, a good response from BVD Emo. So it's, I don't know, let's just start from there. You know, Donny had 3 deaths, but it's okay. Seam had 8 deaths last game, so and they still won. So in this game, I don't think Donny should be too worried at this moment. But if he keeps feeding, you know, it's going to be in the end a very weak Shadow Fiend against an Axe. So they're going to need to plan for that.
Yeah, they certainly do need to plan for that. The Axe has actually been doing pretty well. Let me just check. He's working on his way towards that Blink Dagger now. Should be getting up at about 10, maybe 11 minutes if he continues his current form. It looks as though... Oh, and yeah, Seam already starting to make his worth known in the game. He's going to get the Courier Snipe. It's nothing on it, but certainly something important to have, as he's now going to sit behind the tower, and I think that BVD is ready to start herding VNR exactly the way they want to.
It's a black hole.
Yeah,
black
see,
hole's coming.
They're going to stun up Plick, and Plick's going to take a lot of damage here from Seam, as in comes no coaches as well. He's going to get a 2-man black hole from Fraud, and Plick is caught in there as well as Fancy. Fancy's going to do what he can. He's actually stolen the stun, and he's going to use that, but before the Spirit Breaker can actually get the charge off, he gets hit with the Lina ult. He's now going to charge onto Smoke and see what he can do, but Real Martin's just been able to sit here the whole fight and just pot away, and it looks as though Frenzy's now involved. He's going to drop the ulti as well and get only a 2-person link, so I don't really know how much he's going to do. If the slow comes out from Habibi, and now they're going to start focusing onto Frenzy, who's been turned around on, and they're going to do what they can. The silence up onto Trucker means he's not going to be able to do anything, but just as it ends, he drops that axe on top of Spirit Breaker's head, and that will be finished off. Will the Trucker's axe's life, and somehow still Seam is hanging around here, and Fancy is going to steal that skeleton walk, and yeah, massive fight going on. But BVD definitely coming out ahead in the end there. 3,000 gold, sorry, 3,000 XP and 1,700 gold going their way, as they do somehow in the end kill all 5 heroes of VNR. And in the meanwhile, Donny's got space to go farm on the top lane, taking down the tower, and he's now going to focus on the tier 2. Fancy trying to do what he can just to slow the creep wave down, as the 3 heroes here, 4 heroes here. Here comes a flying space cow, and Fancy is the one who's going to pop this. The invis as well, and very well placed ulti there from Habibi will allow him to get a lot of damage dealt, but Smoke gonna have to pop the grave now, and he's gonna get caught out. He should be finished off. Ulti comes on to Seam, and Seam's gonna get lifted up by Fancy, and he gets charged. Actually, well played there in the end, as they do get the kill, but they trade 2 for it. So it's a 3-for-1 on the bottom lane here for BVD, and they are doing some pretty good work at always getting more than they're trading for. So I think they should probably go into business sometime soon, because they're making a lot of profit out of these trades.
Yeah, of course. And also, I'm going to speak to actually speak about the perspective of VNR. We're actually getting charged right now. Spirit Breaker definitely coming back to it. Maybe a call from Trucker. He walks past him. Trucker shouldn't be in the battle right now. He's getting so close to get the Blink Dagger. So what I think is just escape and not do too much. But Fancy in big trouble. He's going to sacrifice a friend for that. And in the end, they're going to overcome it, which I think is a very bad idea. So now, oh, Donny in big trouble. He actually had a massive comeback for items, but we'll get to that just now. And no coaches casually walking out. Hopefully survives with the help of the urn. Let's just see what happens right now. Might die to Linus. Array, nope. Shadow Fiend is going to kill the Axe as well. This is not looking too good. Axe, who, okay, he's got a Blink Dagger, so it's not too bad, but Klinks is able to get the kill, and it's 2 versus 3 in the advantage of Bravado Gaming. I want to speak about the Donny Shadow Fiend. He has a Midas and a power trades, like, I think 11 minutes into the game already. So, although dying 3 or 4 times, it's not too bad. He made a nice catch up when you mentioned he was pushing the top lane tier 1 and tier 2. So, in the end, I think Bravado still leading a lot in this game. I think 9,000 net worth and 10,000 EXP earned, which is really good.
Yeah, that is it's pretty significant at this stage of the game, as it looks as though Seam is on the hunt again. Who's he going to spot here? Looking for something soft, and he's going to see Fancy, I think. No, he's going to spot out Trucker, and here comes the charge. They're going to go on Trucker, of all people. That is pretty interesting. He's going to blink, but not close enough, and unfortunately just missing the call as well, and he's going to be finished off here as Fancy now gets turned on by Klinks, and Fancy actually stolen the ulti. Not going to do too much to the Klinks in the end, and we got a fake out from Frenzy with the ulti there, as BVD is able to just escape after nabbing 2 kills. So BVD getting cheeky, and somehow it's working for them, because VNR can't turn it around at the moment.
Yeah, well, I don't know what Fancy was doing. I think he was a bit laggy, but he did try to go from behind into maybe a grab for Klinks, but yeah, I don't know. He didn't use his telekinesis. He stole the charge and the ulti. That's basically it.
Yeah,
no here's the ulti coming in from Habibi as well.
Yeah, no coach is charged in there.
Axe gets a call. Maybe 3 heroes.
Yeah, so Trucker just chops down on the Klinks as Donny takes tower up on the top lane. Lina has, however, killed Habibi on his way out. Yeah, so things going pretty well at the moment for BVD. Not really what they wanted to trade for that though, but Donny does have more space in the end. Okay, Ferrari's being hunted down, but in comes a flying space car, and that'll be the end of the hunt. And Fancy doing another good job of stealing it, but it looks like Trucker might go down in the end. Yep, they're going to turn onto the Rubik now as the first punch comes out, and they're going to ulti onto Smoke. He's going to be the one going down. Fancy is going to get charged once again, and he will be finished off by Spirit Breaker and a lucky stun dash there.
Rip supports. This is the nightmare that I was talking about in the beginning of the game. They don't have the DPS output to even beat the Spirit Breaker right now, and he was only the offlane. So with the double damage that he had for the team fights, it's basically called to decide who's going to be winning for the next 50 team fights as well. Because Pluck is actually enough. Okay, he's almost got enough for the Eel Scepter, which could be something, but you're not going to expect to see an overextended. Okay, wait, what am I saying? You will see Donny overextending, and from then, the Eel Scepter into stuns can easily take him down. So, yeah, they're gonna need to focus on him. Maybe not the Klinks, maybe not the Spirit Breaker, because they can escape pretty fast. But if they're able to destroy the Shadow Fiend in this game, I think leaving 45 games, 45 team fights, it'll be in the favor of VNR.
Yeah, but VNR does have a little bit of a hole to climb out of. It's now 12,000, almost 14,000 difference in net worth, and an XP of almost 12,000 as well. So they certainly have their work cut out. They don't seem to be in the best position. They certainly aren't. And we're going to see Donny picking it up. So just covering Donny's aggressive tendencies there by giving him the Aegis. And we've got a charge as the fight goes down in the bottom lane. Trucker is going to be the one caught out. An ulti comes out of Plick, and that's going to kill the Pigeon very, very quickly. As Plick is going to get whacked down by Flares. And Smoke will be finished off there. We do have a TP out. Are they going to be able to catch the Axe? No, they are not. So they're just going to transition onto the bot lane tier 2 now, and yeah, I mean they do have an Aegis, so What do you think VNR, or sorry, what do you think BVD's next movement is? Obviously they take the tier 2. Do you think they're going to push the tier 3s as well, or do they just back off after that?
What I see from the first game is they're more afraid of going uphill than anything else, basically for the gameplay of Dota 2. But I don't know, they're able to. Let's just see if Enigma gets the mana or just enough mana to get that black hole rating. I'm sure that they're able to take on the next team fights, and then pretty easy taking down the tier 3, tier 4, and maybe just a throne with the help of Klinx's fire arrows. So I don't know. They need to take down the X. I think if the X dies, it'll be easy game.
Yeah, he's pretty much the one holding them back at the moment. But yeah, it's quite odd though. I mean, we talk about Enigma and everybody thinks about the immediate thing is the black hole, but we've actually only seen one. And I mean, it was pretty much a game changer, as we see Flares is now charging in. He's going to land on Plick, and he's going to pop immediately the Blade Mail. They're all trying to fight him now, and double ulti comes out of Frenzy there, and Trucker is actually going to get graved up very, very well in the end. It looks like Ferrari is going to get hunted down by those two. Donny is going to try and man mode, but he's got two very, very angry looking fire elementals walking his way, and I don't think he's going to make his way out there. No, he's going to drop that Aegis. Are BVD ready to initiate though? We've got a lot of people worrying out. Donny's going to try to walk his way out of trouble. We've got Spirit Breaker buying back as well. So Donny's going to continue getting whacked here. He is very, very slow at the moment, and that'll be the end of his dominating streak. He will get finished off. Seam is also invis, but in comes a very, very angry looking Spirit Breaker. It's going to get a charge onto 2. Looks like Trucker might go down. Oh, and Trucker unfortunately just whiffs that ulti, and it allows the Klinx to stay alive for a half a second longer. Frenzy is now the next one to be targeted, as No Coach is going to start focusing on to smoke, and somehow he's still alive. The Golems are still trying to hunt him down, and Habibi, wow, he gets absolutely murdered by 2 shots, and that'll allow Plick to finish him off. Somehow the Enigma's still been wandering around here, hasn't used a BKB as yet, as looks as though we're going to charge back straight onto Plick. Do they have enough to kill him? They don't have any ultis left, and that'll be a finishing of the Lina. So a massive team fight in the end. All 5 of VNR down. I think over the course, everyone except the Ferrari Enigma going down for BVD. So yeah, quite a crazy fight in the end. Let's actually just check that recap. Wow, 8,500 XP, 7,400 for BVD. Pretty crazy.
It's basically all revolved to how Flares is playing the Spirit Breaker. He's got 11 kills and 14 assists, which is 25 out of the 30 total score that they have right now. So that's basically the offlaner doing most of the work, which I think once again, like the last game, you see the offlane Broodmother doing most of the work, and now you see the Spirit Breaker. But what Truck said was pretty true. He basically had a 50% chance for bashing. It wasn't only 18-19%. It was way more than that.
Yeah, it certainly felt like it. Like almost every single time he arrived, it looked like he was bashing. But as he did say, it's the same reason given by Admiral Bulldog for why he always gets a root on his lone druid. If you treat your hero well, it treats you it treats you well back. So yeah, obviously Flares must have been spending many nights looking very well after his Spirit Breaker, because it's certainly repaying a big favor today with its amount of bashes. Yeah, so Ferrari continues to farm. I've actually been slightly disappointed by Ferrari this game. I mean, he's been active. He's been getting the midnight pulses down in the team fights. He's always been in the team fights, but he doesn't appear to be doing much. I think he's just slightly too inactive, maybe a little bit scared of jumping in with the black hole and giving it up to Fancy. But you know, you'd hope for a little bit more as Donny gets hunted once again, this time in the jungle, and Flares will finish off the Lina in response.
Yeah, going race car as well. He's got the Yasha pickup, so that Lina had no chance for escaping, and it's a pity that he used the TP too early. Oh wow, here's the truck coming in. Just for real Martin going down so fast with the help of the golems. As well, yeah, I think they're just trying to carry on overcommits, which is not the best idea against BVD Emo. But yeah, I think they're able to win it this time. If not, here's Flares coming in. No, he stops at the middle lane. But yeah, you were speaking about how passive Enigma is, but he's got the recipe for the blacking bar. So as soon as he gets the Mithril Hammer, he's able to, you know, not get any magic damage done on himself. Especially with that lineup of VNR, and I think from then it should be okay.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, you know, you kind of wish that your Enigma would be just a little bit more active, because I think most of his Most of his assists have actually come from just the Midnight Pulse really doing most of the work, rather than him actually, getting in with a black hole or getting up with the Malefice sort of thing, just to make certain that his team gets the kills. But it's just odd. I mean, especially after the game that we saw in Game 1, where he was literally in every single team fight, wrecking the whole of VNR almost solo at times. To see him go back to this passive is just a bit odd to me.
Yeah. Well, he needs to give Seam or Donny or Flares a chance to get some hero kills. I think there's a bit of a problem on the server, I agree. I see some cuts now and then. My ping jumps up to maybe 100, 200. So if we see stutters, it's not us, it's the game itself, or it's the server itself. So please bear with us. Meanwhile, BKB is up on the Shadow Fiend and possibly up soon for Ferrari as well. So
Frenzy's getting charged
yeah,
in mid.
we see a lot of golden heroes.
Frenzy will be finished. Oh no, he will. I was just wondering maybe he was going to get away, but Fancy does steal the Nether Strike once again, so he's got another ulti, and it's not spectacularly useful this game, as it looks. Oh, so Trucker jumps in and not able to get a very, very good call there, and yeah, so he's going to have to just back off and wait for the initiation to come. Clinks, meanwhile, seems been quietly busy the whole time. He's got himself the crit up now. He's got a blink dagger as well. He's actually been doing pretty well. I mean, certainly not feed lord like he was in game 1. I think that's definitely Joni's job this game. 4, 6, and 3 on that Shadow Fiend. But Seam has been important in these fights. I mean, they generally don't notice him just potting away there, and very often he's doing a ton of damage. And then a couple of the other heroes will come in and just grab the last hits or so.
Yeah, for team fights, for example, if they had a team fight at the bottom lane right now, Shadowfield and company would be here, and then he would be going to the back line and try to pick off Rubik or the Dazzle, for example. So very good work from him. And this is not even using an Orchid Malevolence. It's not even needed because he kills somebody so freaking fast. Let's just see. He's getting the Daedalus, I think, straight up after the Crystallis. And I think that from then, he's gonna basically 2-hit a Rubik or something. It's so strong with the fire arrows.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty brutal. We see initiation on the bot lane. Dhoni's going to pop the ult. No, he's going to get cancelled right as Trucker jumps in and gets the call on him. But Dhoni will die in the end. So that is somehow Habibi got a kill and somehow made it out of there as well. So Ferrari is hanging around here just to see if he can help, but he doesn't really have any assistance, so nothing's gonna actually happen. He does actually get hit by the Dazzle ult. Gonna have to blink away right as Trucker follows. So pretty good there from Ferrari to make it out. As it looks like Habibi is a bit more interested, but he has been hit by that. Oh, I was like, how the hell did he kill himself? Then I realized. As it looks like Seam, very, very well played there by Seam, just blinking away. And Frenzy once again baiting out that, baiting out the Chaotic Offering, but wait, oh, there we go. There's the Angry Cow, and he's going to get the ulti onto Frenzy. Frenzy's in a bit of problems here. He's really going to have to be very, very careful. He's going to drop the ulti. I don't think he will. He's just going to eat the death, and that'll be the end of that. Wicked Sick picked up by Spirit Breaker, who's going to now charge onto Smoke, and along comes Seam to help out there. And Smoke, oh, this time it's somehow he's finally going to get finished off there. We have our second black hole of the game. It's not really going to get anything done. Plick does immediately lift up the yeah, just like that, Spirit Breaker will whack Lina in the face a couple of times. Frenzy is back, he's dropped the double golems. It looks like Ferrari is going to die, and that'll be, I think, his first death of the game. Seam is wandering around here looking for a kill. I don't know if he's going to actually be able to take out the axe. They might be looking more for Frenzy, as no, Flares is going straight in on the axe, and yep, here along comes Seam. And Seam's doing a lot of damage to himself, as actually is Flares. They're now going to try and focus onto Frenzy. Frenzy's taking a ton of damage, and along comes the Skywrath Mage to help out. But the Warlock is on pretty high HP, but Dhoni's come along, and he's going to get a kill here. He's going to get off the first raise, the second raise, and Habibi will steal his kill. So Dhoni's not going to be too happy about that, as he now tries to man mode up against these Necro Warriors as well as the Golems, and doesn't come out in the best of shape at all.
Where's the Zeus ulti when you need it? Man, this is so frustrating for Frenzy. You know, before he died the first time, he was just getting bashed every now and then. Like, I mean, not now and then, but every single time, every 2 hits or so. So the only reason he landed the ulti was because the Spirit Breaker was busy with the axe. So now the axe is not alive to help out Warlock's golems. So you know, with both of them or one of them dead, they can't really execute the team fights as nice as they supposedly to during the heroes drafting. So now it's 40 to 20, 27 minutes into the game. That's 60 deaths in 27 minutes. That's a lot of deaths, man. It's like Russian Dota.
Yeah, very much like Russian Dota. Somehow, oh, there we go. Trucker blinks in. There's no escaping for the pigeon. He's just going to finish him off. And No Coach just comes in and is going to start whacking on the axe as Donny blinks ahead and he's going to get the ulti off. It's going to finish off just the Dazzle. He's not going to try man mode. He actually does get the kill on the Rubik as well with the last right click, but he's going to die in the end. So Donny continues his streak of feeding pretty expensively, unfortunately. And the Spirit Breaker is going to charge the top lane. And once again, we're just going to a slightly passive little passage of play here as VNR only has 2, BVD has 3, but I think BVD could maybe make a little bit more out of this if they wanted to push the lanes a little bit harder.
Yeah, once again, it's all about the hero. I think now the supports. In the first game, we saw very even, basically a very tight game because the supports were just helping each other so well. Not so much this game now. We get the Dazzle, who's around helping out a carry, and then Rubik, I think the miscommunication there is strong as well. Yeah, my bad.
No worries. I was just gonna say that Seam was he had Frenzy in his sights, but yeah, I mean there does appear to be a little bit of miscommunication between the VNR supports. Not as effective as game 1, as we actually see Lina finishing off Flair's godlike streak up on the top lane. That's a pretty important kill to give away, as that's a 3,400 XP change towards Lina. She's desperately looking for that, as she has actually also completed the Aghanim Scepter, so she's going to be doing a pretty buttload of damage. And Klinks will finish off Rubik inside the base. And yeah, I'm not quite certain exactly how this is going. It looks as though Lina is interested in the top lane, but she's going to get backstabbed here. Donny's going to TP ahead, but I think Donny might want to be careful. He's going to get Yulesed up. Plix is just going to go straight for the tower, see if he can finish it. He does in fact get that off, and he's going to try and TP his way out. And oh, well played there by Habibi, just lifting up just in time. And Donny will drop the ulti and finish off the Lina for her insolence. As yeah, that's actually only the second tower that BVD's dropped, and they certainly did they expended quite a bit to defend that.
Yeah, it's basically second game that's happened. We see the Nature's Prophet last game when they tried to take the tier 1 tower and escape, and BVD was like nope, and now it's happening again with Lina just trying to take down towers. But towers is not going to matter now if you're not going to kill the heroes. Basically, since the 20 minutes mark, it's been a double. BVD had a double digits of what VNR has in terms of hero kills, which is not looking too good for VNR side. Frenzy, on the other hand, though, he did really well in the mid lane, but basically falling off since the counter, aka the Spirit Breaker or the Space Cow, decided to roam now and then, or roam ever since he left the lane in order to get some hero kills. And he's got 35, actually 16 hero kills and 19 assists, which equals to 35 out of 46 of the whole total BVD kills. So basically, if not for the Spirit Breaker, they wouldn't have had these kills, which is, in the end, very important for him to charge in like this. But he is going to probably die.
Gonna get called up there by the axe as well. So no coaches. He's just gonna back out there. I was wondering, I was like, he's gonna cancel it. He's gonna cancel it, and then it's like he actually doesn't cancel. He gets lifted up over there. So pretty ridiculous movement there by the Spirit Breaker, and we got some more charges over here. Plick is going to be caught out by No Coaches, who's going to turn around now, and a brilliant BKB there from, I think it was Ferrari in the end, and Smoke should be getting finished off. Donny's casting his ulti. Fraud is now trying to man mode as Donny gets 3 in the end. Warlock gets a kill on the Spirit Breaker, and Donny is going to try and help out what he can, but Seam is here just going to finish off Trucker and save his Enigma in the end. But yeah, that was the Enigma ulti that we were looking for, as Habibi, he's going to get hunted down. Frenzy should be finished off here, and this is the first lane of Rax. Fraud very close to getting killed by those Necro units, but Seam will finish him off. And finally, we're going high ground. 31 minutes in, and BVD is now starting to take their first lane of Rax. They might very well get 2 here. There's no time for VNR to actually come back, and they only have a buyback on the Rubik. So yeah, this is probably GG right here. At the minimum 2 lanes of racks if BVD decides to push.
Yeah, I just want to note the Rubik lift on. I can't remember who it is. I think it's the Space Cow, where he cancelled the Black Hole of Enigma, which is really good, but it was a little bit too late, knowing that he did capture 2 or 3 heroes in the Black Hole, and that really just demolished the whole team. I mean, it was Seam just casually at the back line, firing the searing arrows, and then have the Spirit Breaker be the sacrifice. But Spirit Breaker is now so tanky that he's just almost impossible to kill with the help of the Blade Mail and the Silk Kuras. Not to leave out the not leave out the Sanganyasha as well, but just even before Rubik is able to lift up an ulti, he's able to kill him already. That's how strong the Daedalus is on Klinks.
Yeah, pretty brutal. Just 2-shotting the Rubik. Klinks really. But I mean, this is the kind of game we expected from Seam in game 1. Didn't really bring it, but he certainly has brought it in game 2. And that's the thing about BVD. I mean, they can have one of their superstars not play well in a game because they've got 4 other superstars that'll do just as well. So I mean, and when they're all on, it's just like you just hope and pray that your team has like the game of their lives. As it looks as though somehow Donny didn't spot that, so we might have a jump here from VNR. No, Donny did realize something's up. He's going to pop the ulti at point blank range. It's going to hit on 2. Smoke just pops immediately. The Graven tries to run, but Frenzy is not going to be so lucky, as Plick is going to come in and just lift him up. No Coaches will finish him off, and No Coaches is now going to start on the Fiery Lady, and that'll be the end of her. Meanwhile, Klinks in the back line just finishing off. Actually, no, he finished off the Lina. So yeah, and they're going to now focus on the Focus on the Steer 3, and Real Martin just absolutely blowing away that tower. They're going to focus onto Fancy now. Fancy is going to get graved up, and he's taking a lot of damage. It looks as though he'll be finished off. Yeah, he's going to die right outside his well, and Seam picking up a double and going beyond godlike in this game. He is now currently 18, 4, and 13, along with a 17, 5, and 25 Spirit Breaker. These two have pretty much dominated this game for BVD, been active in just about every single team fight, and certainly made their presence known. They're now going to focus down the tier 3s in mid. Okay, some style points there for Ferrari.
Yeah, well, that's basically it. I like VNR's idea, but the execution wasn't as precise as we thought it would be. Otherwise, if they managed to take out... Okay, they did take out the Shadow Fiend, but if they managed to take out Seam as well as Leon in the early games as well, it could be a different story, because magic damage and Culling Blade is a lot to come out from VNR side, but it's unfortunate. It's going to be a 2-0 game as far as I know from this, but very good games from both sides. And I think Truck's team, they had the ideas. They had very, very good ideas, but they just need to work on practicing to execute, and it'll be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, look, the only thing I could actually fault with VNR's drafts is that both games they gave Plick a carry that was kind of just substandard. It's really not a carry, the kind of carry that is actually able to do anything, as it looks like Habibi's going to be murdered in the trees over there. But Snow Coaches has popped up again. He's going to try and man mode his way through 2 golems and realizes that's not going to happen, as he's now going to just have to run. In comes Donny. He's going to look to try and farm on these golems. Ferrari's also active, and Frenzy's asking. Wait, leave that one. But yeah, this will be a clean 2-0 for BVD. Really very well played by them. All set. Actually, I think every single one of the players of BVD actually pitched up in either game 1 or game 2. So really well played by both of them. Any last thoughts on what you think VNR could have done better that game, Reigns?
Well, they had the magic damage, but yeah, I've been just noticing the execution of the team fights. I think decisions were basically outplayed by BVD, but otherwise, yeah, if they had the same draft and if they play another team, I'm sure that they could win, because due to experience they have. It's just that BVD Emo players are just next level in terms of dealing with these, so hopefully they have another win, or they'll have more wins in the future in the league. So good luck to both teams. I'm Reigns, as well as the main caster here is Prophecy, and we're from Nav TV. So if you need a cast, let us know beforehand, obviously, and then we'll help you out.
Yeah, you guys can follow Nav TV on Facebook at, I think it's just Nav TV, and you can follow Reigns at RainsCasts on Twitter, and you can follow myself at Prophecy Gaming. thanks very much for spending your Sunday night with us, if you did, guys, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and good luck for the next week. Cheers. Bye-bye.